Hey there YouTube, this is Ben from beMOTION.DESIGN. In this video, I wanted to do a breakdown of an animation test project that I've been working on. NAB was a couple of weeks ago, which is one of the biggest conventions in the world for broadcasting. So I was lucky enough to be a presenter at the BorisFX booth this year. And if you're not familiar with BorisFX, you should be. They have one of the largest set of plugin modules used in editing motion graphics and visual effects. I talked about this project briefly in one of my presentations at the BorisFX booth, but I didn't have a lot of time to get into the details and talk about everything I wanted to talk about in this project. So this video will also showcase some of the more advanced features of the Sci-Fi toolset, namely the effects builder and the preset browser. Here's a quick time of the final render with some sound design elements and music. So this 10-second video is composed of 2 shots, and the biggest reason for breaking it down, or breaking any animation down into smaller components, is to make it more manageable to complete. And in a visual effects house, 2 people might be working on one shot, while another group of people might be working on the other shot, even though both shots have similar, if not the same, elements. I have 2 shots here, and shot 1 is the spaceship flying into camera and heading toward this alien planet. Shot 2 is inside the cockpit of the spaceship as it moves closer to the planet. Both shots have the spaceship and the alien planet in them. The spaceship is a model from another 3D application that I use called DAZ Studio. DAZ Studio is completely free, and it comes with some 3D model content, but the big thing for DAZ is they want you to go to their website and buy more 3D content. So that's what I did with this particular model. I purchased it from the DAZ3D.com website. So if you go to the shop, you'll see all kinds of content, fully written characters, environments, and all kinds of 3D models for a pretty reasonable price. This model is called Stingray, so if you go to the search field here and type in Stingray, then it will come up. So the latest versions of DAZ 3D, what's really great is that all of your content is associated with the login credentials that you create on the site when you sign up and get the software for free. So now they have this smart content feature that allows you to see all of the content that you've purchased, and believe me, this is a much better way, a much better organizational structure than it used to be. So I loaded up the Stingray model into DAZ, and what's great about DAZ is that almost all of the models, whether they're characters or in this case a spaceship, they're rigged in some fashion. In this particular model, you can open the canopy, you can move the gun turrets, and you can do some other things like that as well too. And you can animate them inside of DAZ and then export that animation as an FBX file, which then you can bring into your 3D package of choice. I really wish that DAZ and Maxon would get together and create a solution where I could just load the model directly into Cinema and have all of the rigging and the morphs and all of that stuff from DAZ directly in Cinema 4D. And maybe they are working on that. I don't know. I'm not privy to those conversations. But in this particular case, I just exported the base model out of DAZ as an OBJ file with materials and brought it into After Effects via Video Copilot's Element 3D. Element 3D is my go-to 3D and After Effects plugin. It is just, it's brilliant. It's wonderful. Kudos to Andrew Kramer for creating that because I use it every day. I retextured it for Element. And what's great about the DAZ 3D models is that almost all of them come with a diffuse, a bump, and a specular and glossy maps. So it's very easy to reapply them accordingly. For the background of these scenes, I created a 4K composition that I turned into a 3D layer so it would react naturally with the slow camera push that I have in this particular shot. Now I have a proxy enabled for this comp because even though I have very few effects in this comp, they're very intense effects. And as you can see here, the base layer has just one effect on it, and it's called Sapphire's S effect, which together with its sibling S transition allows you to create any effect or transition that you can dream up and combine them under the hood of one plugin. So if we open up S-Effect by clicking the Edit Effect button, you'll see the Sci-Fi effects builder. And on the left-hand side, you'll see the Sci-Fi, all of your Sci-Fi effects. And in the top center pane, you have a preview window. In the lower center pane, you have all of your effect nodes. And if I select one of the nodes, you'll see on the right side pane all of the parameters for that node. If you'd like me to go into more detail about the Sci-Fi Effects Builder, I would be more than happy to create a separate tutorial about that and go into more detail. Just let me know in the comments section. But for now, I'm going to move on because we're probably already getting longer than I would like it to be. So, all right. So I have 3 effect nodes in my effect node tree. And if I checked the preview selected node checkbox here at the bottom and then select one of the nodes, you'll see a representation of that node in the preview pane. And any other nodes that are above or connected to it in the hierarchy. If I select the Starry Night node and enlarge the preview pane, you'll see a star field. And this effect actually is called S Night Sky, and it's an astronomically correct representation of the constellations. So you can set latitude, longitude, GMT offset, and it will show you what's in the night sky at that particular point on the planet. You can even put in year, month, day, hour, and minute, so you can get pretty detailed. On top of that, I added a node called Alien Planet, which is actually an instance of S Luna. And if I reset S Luna, then you can see that this is a highly detailed representation of the Earth's moon. You have control over lunar phase, the bumpiness, contrast, and brightness, as well as the color of the moon, and the Earth glow and sky color. And below that, you'll see parameters for glow, halo, and atmosphere. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to step back here to where we were. And you can see that all I did was center the position of the moon. I changed the rotation and the color. And then I went to the glow parameters and increased the glow. And then I added some atmosphere on top of that, as if there's kind of, some like haze or some really fine debris in the outer atmosphere of the planet. And on top of that, I added S lens flare. And since this video is already getting pretty lengthy, I'm going to skip the details of the lens flare designer. But if you're interested in learning more about Sapphire's lens flare designer, just let me know in the comments and I can put together another video that's just on lens flare designer. Once we made all the changes we want, we click OK and hop back into After Effects. And if we like this effect and want to save it, we can click Save Preset at the top. And one of the great advantages of saving the preset, other than having it available to use for other projects, is that you can save the preset file to your desktop and hand it off to someone else. And as long as they are using the same version of Sapphire, they can open it up on their machine, and the preset file is host agnostic, which means that regardless if they're using After Effects, Avid, Premiere, or even DaVinci Resolve, as long as they have Sapphire, they can open the preset on their Mac or PC. And in visual effects instances like this, where I may be working on one shot and someone else is working on another shot, but we both need the exact same alien planet, I can save the preset and pass it along to the other artists for them to use. And even though the background is the same in both shots, I increased the resolution of the background in shot 2 from 4K to 8K because the planet was going to be closer and I still wanted to maintain a lot of the detail. The last thing I wanted to talk about are the HUD elements inside the spaceship. I wasn't satisfied with the HUD elements that were on the texture that came with the model, mainly because they're static and they didn't move, and I wanted movement, I wanted life, I wanted them to look a little bit more realistic. So I added some additional detail to this texture. I don't fancy myself to be any kind of a great future user interface designer like Jace Hansen at jace.tv, or there's another guy that I recently found on Twitter who also does a really great job of FUI design. His name is Bruno William, and he is at brewwilliam.com. Because I don't really do any of that kind of stuff, I cheated a little bit and I went to a website called videohive.net. and they have a lot of After Effects templates and stock footage, stock templates, and various different other things. And so I found some HUD elements on their website. And since I already had a bunch of credits that I had to use up anyway, I just went ahead and purchased them from the site and brought them into the project to populate the texture. I did use one plugin. It's a Red Giant Universe plugin called HUD. It's the brainchild of the wonderfully amazing Harry Frank, who is one of my After Effects heroes. You should go check out his website, graymachine.com. You can also follow him at Twitter at graymachine. But that's also a very wonderful plugin, and it's amazingly detailed. If you want to know more, I can create a video on that as well too. Okay, so that's the breakdown of the project. If you have any questions about what I discussed in this video, definitely put them in the comments section. Let me know what your questions are. Let me know if you want to know how to do something. Again, I'll create links in the description about some of the products and people that I talked about. And if you found this video helpful, please, 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 please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, put a comment in the comment section. I want to continue to create more resources like this for you guys, and little things like that go a long way. So you can also find me on Twitter at beMOTION_design and on Instagram at beMOTION.DESIGN. And again, I'll put those in the description as well. But until next time, this has been for beMOTION.DESIGN. Bye-bye now.